It's time now for the latest in local news. In the news on Tuesday, a joint meeting between the county and city of Jesup voted and Scriven officials at the Wayne County Airport to discuss the upcoming SPLOS 5 vote, which will take place in March of 2024, with early voting beginning in February. We'll hear from County Administrator Paul Girardi on tomorrow's newscast, as the county and city officials will be out to gain the support of the voters and hope they pass the SPLOS 5 referendum. It brings in millions of dollars of revenue for the government bodies. Mayors that voted and Scriven on record stating that without the SPLOS funds, it would be almost impossible to provide the services that are provided to residents. The county's proposed three major projects the SPLOS 5 funds will be used for. One is to provide and upgrade security for the courthouses in the community, 2, to build a community center, and 3, to build an equestrian center. On Tuesday, a good crowd on hand. All the municipalities were represented, only the mayor of Jesup, Ralph Hickok's on hand representing the city of Jesup. Commissioner Tim Cockfield on record saying that he will campaign against the SPLOS 5. He was not pleased with the breakdown percentage of how the funds will be dispersed. He believes the city of Jesup should receive more of the funding from the SPLOS money. Once again, the vote takes place in March of 2024. WIFO FM will continue to follow the story. The Board of Education was able to pass their eSPLOS this year. And again, with those funds, they're looking to build a new ROTC facility and a new ag center at the high school. This Saturday, December 2nd, the annual Wayne County Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade is scheduled, but Mother Nature could postpone the event. Chamber closely monitoring the weather for the weekend. They state a final decision will be made on Thursday at 12 noon. The Chamber will be our guest on Friday's Butch and Bob show for the final decision of this year's parade. If postponed, the new date would be Saturday, December the 16th at 7 p.m. Chamber says it requires a significant window of good weather to set up the stages, sound system, and floats. The weekend forecast at this time calling for a lot of rain. Once again, no decision has been made at this time, but will be made on Thursday around 12 noon. And again, the chamber will be here Friday on the Butch and Bob show with the final decision. Meanwhile, the open house for tomorrow evening is still on schedule. The lighting of the tree scheduled from 6 to 6:45 p.m. We'll have singing performance by the Jesup Elementary Kids Choir, the Jesup Church of God Livewire Kids Choir, and the Wayne Christian Academy Choir. All that's set for tomorrow night at the James Art Bland Park. Also tomorrow, the Altamont Baptist Church's Live Nativity still set for the JC Fairgrounds from 6 to 8 p.m. But once again, the weather forecast not looking good for the weekend. Again, the chamber to make a decision on Thursday, and they'll be our guest Friday on the Butch and Bob show with the final details of the Christmas parade. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news, the Jesup Police continue to investigate a couple of shootings in the city limits of Jesup. One shooting being investigated as a murder, as Dion Gardner passed away from his injuries sustained in a shooting which occurred at 356 North 4th Street back on October 29th. Police are offering a $2,500 reward for information which will lead to an arrest in this case. Gardner was taken to a hospital in Savannah, was being treated for his injuries, but passed away on November 21st. Chief Chris Hamilton is asking for the community's help. If anyone knows anything about the shooting incident, they're asked to contact the Jesup PD at 912-427-1300, or you can call the Chatham Crime Stoppers hotline. That number is 912-234-2020. You can remain anonymous by calling that number. Once again, this is being investigated as a murder. GBI has been requested to assist in the investigation. Police have not named any suspect in the shooting. Once again, they're asking for the community's help. Again, the number for the Jesup PD, 912-427-1300. The hotline number in Savannah, 912-234-2020. Jesup police are investigating a second shooting. This one occurred on November 21st at 621 1st Street in Jesup. Male subject was shot multiple times. He remains in the Savannah Hospital, listed in stable condition. Police have not released any more details other than that, and they've not released the name of the victim, have not made any arrests in the shooting. Once again, they're asking for the community's help. If anyone knows anything about the shooting on 1st Street, which occurred on November 21st, they're asked to contact the Jesup PD at 912-427-1300. Police did report again the victim is listed in stable condition at a Savannah hospital. WIFO FM was able to talk with the GBI on Tuesday, get an update on the John Jankowski case. GBI was recently called in to review the case after the protest in front of the DA's office. Welcome was able to meet with the District Attorney Keith Higgins, and one of their requests was that the GBI be called in to handle the case. GBI confirmed to WIFO FM that they were notified November 13th. Agent Stacy Carson says they're conducting interviews, going over all aspects of the case. Once the investigation is complete, they'll turn their findings over to the DA's office. Jankowski remains free on bond after he received a bond at his third bond hearing, as the district attorney is yet to take the case to a grand jury to seek an indictment. Despite an open court having an assistant DA plead with the judge at the first two bond hearings that bond be denied, the state says they had 12 written statements from women who claimed they were sexually assaulted and drugged by Jankowski. They also stated in court that the defendant drugged and sexually assaulted an undercover agent. All that evidence presented in open court by their assistant DA and their lead detective, yet that evidence has not been presented to a grand jury for an indictment at this time. Once again, at the third bond hearing, the judge had no choice but to grant a bond due to the fact that by law, a defendant cannot be held without bond after a certain period of time. So Judge Guy set the bond, and the defendant remains out of jail on bond at this time with certain stipulations. Once again, the case now in the hands of the GBI, and again, we'll continue to follow the story as it develops. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in the news: Wayne County High School counselors, excuse me. Wayne County High School counselors are having a fundraiser titled Crowns and Capes Christmas Brunch on December 9th from 10 to 1 for elementary school students. Parents will need to register students ahead of time and pay the $25 fee on the Rev Track once the link is available. Parents will be notified via class tag when the link is available. There'll be only 100 spots with a multi-child discount will be offered for families registering siblings. There'll be a variety of activities including face painting, bounce houses, crafts, movies, a photo booth, and brunch, which will include chicken, waffles, and other snacks. Some very special guests, princesses, superheroes, elves, and Santa will all make appearances. This is a drop-off event, so parents are not required to stay with their children. All proceeds support the high school counselors program. If you have any questions, contact the high school counselors department at 912-427-1096, extension 804. City of Scriven getting ready for their Christmas parade. The date is Saturday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Their theme is a small town Christmas. Entry fees a new toy for the Wayne County Toy Drive. Toys can be dropped off at City Hall or mailed to Scriven Christmas Parade, P.O. Box 146, Scriven, Georgia 31560. Once again, the city bringing their Christmas parade back on Saturday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Also had their annual Christmas in the Park event. That's set for December 15th at Grace Community Park at 501 Bill Royal Street in Scriven. The time that day, 6 to 9 p.m. They'll have vendors, bounce houses, hot chocolate, s'mores, and the big highlight, of course, their 42,000 pounds of snow. Also, the lighting of the tree. The date, once again, December 15th in Scriven, Georgia. That'll do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan saying have a great day.